What we have here is several reactions that allow us to make new carbon-carbon bonds, doing nucleophilic additions over to carbonyl compounds, so aldehydes and ketones. So one strategy was doing Grignard, and another was the attack by cyanides, so forming cyanohydrins. And the other strategy was Wittig. So I'm going to work with a few problems illustrating that. Say that I want to make the following alcohol. And I want to do that alcohol from very small molecule using Grignard. So disconnecting that, I know that this can come from, say, I'm going to use a different arrow because I'm going backwards. So that can come, for example, from this. And this is 1, 2, 3, propanol. So that's an H. So if I make propanol react, for example, with, now I need to install this fragment, right? So I can make it react with metal magnesium bromide. And that'll be my Grignard reaction plus a negative, let me remove that plus sign. So that's my nucleophile. Remember, here we have an H in propanol. And now in doing so, I have created, this is the alkoxide, let's say H metal in that. And finally, I need a step to protonate that. So I'm going to have to add acid or some acidic condition to get the final alcohol. And this time, I'm not drawing the hydrogen. It's the same alcohol. So notice that I can start from that point. Other things that I can do to synthesize that, I could do it from a ketone and simply do, if I do this ketone, for example, to get here, why do I need to do a reduction? So I can do a couple of things. I can use lithium aluminum hydride in, say, dry ether, for example, and then add water and hydrogen, or I can use sodium boron hydride, and that I can use with water. Remember that sodium boron hydride is less reactive. So either those two conditions, I'm going to have a nucleophilic attack by hydride, and again, I'm going to get that alkoxide, which I need to protonate. So that's a different strategy to get the same alcohol. Another thing that we can do to do that alcohol is, now I am starting with methanol. So this was propanol, and this is this is ethanol or acetaldehyde. And what I can do here, I can do Grignard. Notice that I'm using Grignard when I have fewer carbons than I needed to. At the beginning, if I started from propanol, it's clear that I have 1, 2, 3 carbons. So I need to add 1 more carbon. And that's what I did using the attack by metal magnesium bromide. I added 1 carbon. Here in this, in the other strategy, I didn't need to do new carbon-carbon bonds. All I needed to do is a reduction. So let's say that was one strategy A, in that we made a new carbon-carbon bond. In strategy B, we didn't add carbon-carbon bonds. What we did was a reduction. And I'm going to do a third strategy. Now, if I start from, this is aldehyde, here I have 2 carbons. I need to add more carbons to that. So I will need to get here. If I have this 2, I need to add 2 more. So I'm going to make this react with ethyl magnesium bromide. And that way I will have 2 carbons. Let's throw the ethyl like this, CH2, CH3. So if I react those 2, that's my nucleophile. Again, I'm going to form the same alkoxide, and I need to protonate afterwards. So we can see in this strategy, we have made a new carbon-carbon bond. We had used Grignard. Another way of using Grignard here, I have started from acetaldehyde. Here, I started from propanol. Of course, adding different Grignard reagents. And in the other strategy, I used reductions. So those are things that we can do when planning synthesis. Let's do a bit more in another video.